Welcome to this module, Planning and Delivery for TVET Teachers. In this module, we'll focus on how to design, structure, and deliver lessons that maximize student engagement and ensure skill mastery. The first video will introduce you to the principles of effective lesson planning, providing you with the tools to create impactful and organized learning experiences. Good lesson planning is the foundation of effective teaching. It's not just about knowing what you're going to teach, it's about organizing your ideas, setting clear objectives, and creating a structure that supports student learning. In TVET, lesson planning is particularly important because your students are learning practical skills. A well-structured plan ensures they get the time, guidance, and resources they need to practice and master those skills. Think of your lesson plan as a roadmap. It helps you stay focused on your goals, adapt to unexpected challenges, and ensure your students leave with the knowledge and abilities they need to succeed. An effective lesson plan has three main components. 1. Learning objectives. 2. Lesson structure. 3. Assessment and feedback. Let's take a closer look at each one. First, learning objectives. These are the specific skills or knowledge your students should have by the end of the lesson. Objectives should be clear, measurable, and focused on student outcomes. For example, instead of saying, "Students will understand safety protocols," you could say, "Students will demonstrate the ability to follow safety protocols while using a circular saw." This makes the goal specific and measurable. Second, lesson structure. A well-organized lesson typically has three parts. Introduction, briefly explain the topic and why it's important. Main activity, this is where you teach the skill, using methods like demonstrations, discussions, or group work. Closure, summarize what was covered and check for understanding through questions or brief exercises. Finally, assessment and feedback. Every lesson should include a way to evaluate whether students have achieved the learning objectives. This could be through observation, practical demonstrations, or a short quiz. Follow this with constructive feedback to help students improve. In TVET, lesson planning should be grounded in the specific competencies your students need to master. Competencies represent the combination of knowledge, skills, and behaviors required to perform tasks effectively in real-world settings. They go beyond theoretical understanding to ensure learners can demonstrate their abilities in practical contexts. To create effective lesson plans, start by identifying a specific competency, then break it down into smaller, teachable skills or steps that collectively build toward mastering the full competency. For example, if the competency is install a plumbing system, this can be broken down into the following skills: reading plumbing blueprints, understanding and interpreting technical drawings to plan the installation; measuring and cutting pipes, applying mathematical and technical precision to prepare materials accurately; assembling and testing the system, combining components correctly, troubleshooting issues, and ensuring the system functions as intended. Each skill becomes the focus of individual lessons, allowing students to develop their capabilities incrementally. This step-by-step approach ensures that by the end of the training, learners have mastered not only the technical procedures, but also the problem-solving and decision-making abilities required to apply their skills in the workplace effectively. Competency-based lesson planning ensures that every activity, demonstration, and assessment directly supports students' ability to perform in their trade. It bridges the gap between theoretical learning and practical application, making their training truly career-ready. Adapting plans to your classroom. Every classroom is unique, and no single lesson plan fits all situations. To ensure your teaching is effective and inclusive, you need to adapt your plans to the specific context of your students and learning environment. Let's explore three key factors to consider when tailoring your lesson plans. 1. Student skill levels. Not all students start at the same level, so it's important to assess their abilities before planning. Beginners, focus on foundational skills with clear, step-by-step instructions and basic tasks to build confidence. For example, teach them how to measure materials accurately before introducing complex techniques. Intermediate learners, introduce tasks that require problem-solving and critical thinking, such as troubleshooting a basic system or completing a group project. Advanced students, challenge them with independent projects, real-world scenarios, or tasks that integrate multiple skills to prepare them for workplace demands. 2. Resources. Consider what tools, materials, and equipment are available in your classroom. In TVET settings, limited resources can be a challenge, but this is an opportunity for creativity. Use locally available or low-cost materials to replicate key tasks. Rotate students through workstations or shared tools to maximize hands-on opportunities. If equipment is limited, supplement with videos, demonstrations, or virtual simulations to ensure all students grasp the concept. 3. Time. Time management is crucial for effective teaching. Ensure your plan is realistic and achievable within the time you have. For shorter lessons, focus on a single objective, like teaching students to read a technical blueprint. For longer sessions, combine related tasks, such as measuring, cutting, and assembling materials. Always leave time for questions, review, and reflection to reinforce learning and address challenges as they arise. Practical example of a TVET lesson plan. Creating a clear and structured lesson plan is essential for effective teaching in TVET. Let's walk through a practical example to see how you can apply this in your classroom. Imagine you're teaching a lesson on basic electrical wiring. Your learning objective might be: by the end of this lesson, students will be able to wire a simple lighting circuit safely and correctly. This objective is specific, measurable, and directly tied to the competency students need to master. Lesson structure. 1. Introduction, 10 minutes. Begin by setting the stage and capturing students' attention. Explain the importance of electrical safety, highlight potential risks, and emphasize the need for caution when working with electrical circuits. Show an example of a completed circuit. Use this as a visual aid to help students understand the goal of the activity and connect theory to practice. Outline the lesson. Provide a brief overview of what students will learn and do during the session so they know what to expect. 2. Main activity, 30 to 40 minutes. This is the hands-on, practical part of the lesson where students learn by doing. Demonstrate the process. Start by wiring a simple lighting circuit in front of the class, explaining each step as you go. Use clear, simple language and highlight key safety precautions. Student practice. Pair students and provide materials for them to wire their own circuits. Circulate the room, offering guidance, answering questions, and addressing mistakes as they arise. Encourage collaboration. Pairs can troubleshoot problems together, building both technical and teamwork skills. 3. Closure, 10 to 15 minutes. End the lesson by reinforcing what students have learned. Review key steps, summarize the wiring process and the safety measures taken. Check students' work. Have each student demonstrate their circuit and explain what they've done. Effective lesson planning is key to creating a productive and engaging learning environment in TVET. Here are some essential tips to guide your planning process and ensure your lessons meet the needs of your students. 1. These specifics start with clear, measurable learning objectives that define what students should know or be able to do by the end of the lesson. Detailed activities that align with these objectives ensure your teaching stays focused and effective. For example, if your objective is students will safely wire a basic lighting circuit, your activities should include a demonstration, guided practice, and an assessment tied directly to that skill. 2. Stay flexible. Even the best plans can encounter unexpected challenges. Be prepared to adapt if something doesn't go as expected, whether it's a misunderstanding of the material, limited resources, or a change in the schedule. Flexibility might mean spending extra time on a challenging concept or introducing an alternate activity if equipment is unavailable. Adaptability ensures you meet your students where they are and keep the lesson moving forward. 3. Plan for engagement. Engagement is critical for effective learning. Incorporate activities that actively involve students, such as hands-on practice with tools or materials, group projects that encourage collaboration and communication, problem-solving tasks that challenge students to apply their knowledge in real-world scenarios. For example, instead of lecturing about plumbing systems, have students work in pairs to assemble a simple system, encouraging teamwork and practical application. 4. Reflect and improve after each lesson. Take a few minutes to reflect on its effectiveness. Ask yourself, what went well? What challenges did students face? Were the objectives achieved? Use these insights to refine your future plans. Adjust activities, timing, or delivery methods based on what you learned to continually improve your teaching. Now it's your turn. Think about the last lesson you taught or plan to teach. Did you have clear objectives? How did you structure the lesson? What could you do to make it more engaging or effective? Use the framework we've discussed to guide your planning, and don't forget to include specific objectives, a clear structure, and a way to assess your students' learning. Thank you for completing this video. Lesson planning is a vital skill for every TVET teacher, and by mastering it, you're setting your students up for success.